What's going on, mother truckers? Hey, if you're new to the channel, my name's Alex, and pretty much anyone that has any information or PSAs about the trucking industry, please send it to mothertruckernews@gmail.com. This is a very important situation that we need to talk about right here. We have Kenny as a guest today on the show, and pretty much go follow him at Kenny Coleman 5 on TikTok. And the reason why this is so important is because I think the general public doesn't understand how heavy truck drivers really are and that we just can't stop on a dime. Now, there's a couple things in this video that happened that even Kenny says himself. One, if you are on the highway, pay attention to the people that are trying to merge in, because I'm telling you, a lot of times these four-wheelers, they will just try to cut you off, and at times you just gotta be careful. And if it is open, if it is available, you might have to change lanes to the left, right? But here's the big thing. Getting onto the highway is a courtesy. So just know that if you are a four-wheeler, a truck, a scooter, or whatever, you got to speed up faster than the speed limit and get yourself out there. If not, then you need to yield and wait. Don't speed out there and then yield and wait, because this situation can happen right here. So the PSA, for one, is if you are merging onto the highway, definitely pick up speed right away or yield and wait. And the second part to that is if something does happen, you as a truck driver, and someone throws a milkshake at your door or something like that, make sure if they're exiting off, you don't follow them, because that's how a fight happens. And we don't need no road raging. Mother truckers, let's get into this.
Dude, what's your problem? I had nowhere to go. I got 50,000. Dude, I was on the break. I was on my break. I got 43,000 pounds and I had nowhere to go.
I drove a goddamn semi truck, bro. You
I got
my fucking
I
life.
was on my break.
You tell me you can't tell shit.
I was
You seen
on
what's
my
coming on the
break.
road.
I got a camera right here.
I got my 6 up. Good. What's the
I understand that. I got 5 kids.
Look,
I'm gonna
tell
call
you work for a straight bull.
Yeah, and I'm calling the cops.
Good deal. Go. I'll sit here and wait on it.
I'll tell you, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think you're a bad guy.
I'm pretty sure he's a cool guy,
I think that he just flew off the rail.
Yeah, wanting to get over, because most time you can get on.
Yeah.
But when you can, you got to shut it down. Somebody's going to shut it down. Like I told him, I said, it's a courtesy for y'all to get on the freeway.
I've seen most guys don't even get on their brakes. I
Yeah.
got on my brakes.
Yeah.
And I've seen, I'm like, okay, I got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Maybe if I slow down enough, I'll be able to get on over, but what about them cars got next to me? I'm like,
Yeah.
What's going on, brother? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. I was just checking to see if you can hear me. How's it
Yeah,
going?
no, we're good. We're good. Everybody's been sending me this video that you got going on. And
Yeah, man, and it's still circulating, and the comments are still coming in.
and some people, they got positive things to say, and then social media, they always got negative things to say as well.
As always, as always.
Oh man, welcome to my life, brother.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. This is actually, I was telling my old lady about it just yesterday. I said, man, somebody just reached out to me to be on their live stream, and this is a first for me, but I'm pretty happy about it, and I'm glad it actually reached out like the way it did.
No, that's good. First off, I'd like to just show you love in the beginning, Kenny. Definitely message me all, your social medias and this and that, but definitely shout those out and I'll put the screenshot so that people can see and, go to your channel to support you.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that. I really do, man. Because, I mean, it ain't nothing, too crazy. It's just my own personal TikTok. But, I share information when I can, being a truck driver. Because surprisingly enough, there's a lot of people that don't know what it takes to be a driver.
Oh, I agree. I agree. So what is that channel? Let people know.
You can find me on TikTok at Kenny Coleman 5. Pretty simple, nothing too crazy.
No, I love it. I love it.
So,
How long you been driving, by the way?
I've been out here now for almost 7 years now.
7 years. Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
you've been out here for a little bit, a couple seasons, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I started out flatbedding. Flatbedding was cool. I kind of miss it, but I had to do something a little bit. I kind of might need to get back in it, man. I'm getting out of shape.
Uh-oh, no, I feel you the same way. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. But, yeah, let's get into this. I mean, tell us where this is and what's going on in this video. And I'll share a clip of this.
Okay. Well, this is man, I believe that was Interstate 20 going westbound. I said Canton, Texas, and trust me, Texas folks will correct you. That is not Canton. That is, I think it's Zephyr County
Got
or
it.
something like
Got
that.
it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
you
everybody was
hating on the
telling me.
whole
So.
county, man. You hating on the whole county.
Yeah, and that's so but so that's pretty much where it was at. It was in Zephyr County or Zephyr, Texas. I'm sorry, guys, in Texas. I'm from
Yeah, walk us.
Oklahoma, so everything we call is county, man. So
I heard that. I heard that. So yeah, walk us through this. What exactly happened in this scenario?
well, I mean, it's pretty kind of cut and dry. I'm just cruising down, riding down, trying to get ready to shut down here over the next couple hours at some point. And as I'm riding through, of course, I've got one big rig passing me or attempting to pass me. Excuse me. And I'm looking in my mirrors or whatnot, and I see he's got about 3 or 4 of the cars. Of course, it's rush hour. 10, 20 cars behind me, and you know how four-wheelers do. They're right there
Right.
behind you. So of course, obviously, I see the ramp coming up, and I see that the cars are, coming in as usual. Me just doing my thing, and I see one car get out there, and there's this one particular vehicle that just I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know what he was doing, or if he was on his phone, or what he was doing, but he wasn't quite up to speed. So, of course, I'm already on my brakes and my jakes are on, of course. I don't know if you could probably tell because of all the CB static in the background, but I'm on my brakes and at the time I had 42,000 pounds on me. I'm just, trying to keep it slow it down a little bit because I see he's kind of having some trouble getting out there. And for some godforsaken reason, he just decided to hit his brakes and I got nowhere to go, you know. By the time I get up to him, he's hitting the shoulder. I never touched him. We never made contact. So of course I'm like, all right, he's all right. He's good. I'm looking in my mirror, make sure I didn't hit him. Cruise down the road a little bit more, and next thing I know, I hear on the side of my door. I look up. Oh, look, it's a Milkshake. So, I probably should have kept a cooler head about it. Honestly.
So tell me this real quick. Were you just stopping on the side of the road?
Honestly, I didn't intend to stop. I believe that in the heat of the moment, this guy's throwing stuff at my truck. I'm like, all right, I at least want to get his tag number. So of course I see he exits. So I'm not thinking he's going to stop, and to be totally honest, but he did. So I'm like, okay, well, we're going to stop and we're going to have a little chat. You know what I mean?
Okay, so just to let people know, so when you're trying to get on the highway or the freeway or anything, either you yield or you go faster.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I tell people this all the time, and somehow people will, of course, we all know people will still try to justify, oh, well, you should have been doing this and you should have been doing that. I'm like, look, unless you're sitting in this passenger seat next to me, You have no idea what's going on in this cab. You know what I mean? You don't know, or unless you've actually even been in the driver's seat, you don't know what it's taking, what what's going on at that point to avoid hit. I don't go out aiming to hit people. you know,
I heard
I
that.
try to, I try to avoid people if all possible. Just like, you got cars that ride next to me all day long, and I'm like, dude, just get away from me. I don't want to be by you at all. They don't want to be by
Yeah.
me, and I don't want to be by them because, I can't tell you how many times, I ride next to people and they're just texting away,
No, I hear that. So,
or, go ahead.
so
I'm
the
sorry.
situation, no, you're good. So the situation happens, and then he speeds up next to you and he throws a milkshake at you. Well, it hits your door, and then at that point, you try to get his plates. And does he exit off first, or do you exit off first?
He actually exited off first, while he's speeding up to do whatever, throw his little tantrum or whatever. I'm actually trying to get back up to speed. And, we all know, once you lose that momentum, it's hard to get back up to that speed. So I'm just like, all right, screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and get off. And at that point, I see him pull over. I pull over. And before I could even get the truck stopped good, he's out of his pickup. So I'm like, okay, I see where this is going to go.
Nah, I can hear in your voice. You're just pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, and the thing is a lot of people say, oh, well, I would have met him first and this, that, and the third. I look at it like this. You never really know what somebody's going to do. I mean, yeah, I could have jumped out of, I'm sorry, let me turn this radio down. You never know what somebody's going to do. I didn't really have any intention on that type of confrontation.
Right.
But obviously he's, aggressive or whatever. So of course I never get out of my truck. And I'm just telling him, like, dude, I had nowhere to go. Obviously he didn't want to hear that. A lot of people are like, oh, look, I mean, I probably could have opened my door up and knocked him off my step, but honestly, given where we were at and with people coming off that exit, that might not have been good because I could just picture me opening the door, him flinging back and landing on somebody's windshield.
Yeah. No, I believe you did the right thing. At the end of the video. So who calls the cops? Was it you or him?
Well, at the end of the day, we both ended up calling the cops. I think I wanted to go ahead and call the cops to just de-escalate the situation, because even with him being on my truck and threatening, to punch me, even though he probably would have missed, but I just, at that point, I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to escalate this any further. I'm just going to go ahead and get the cops involved. That at least got him to back down. But I guess at the same time, while I was calling the cops, he was trying to call the cops. So it's like, who's going to call the cops first? I'm like, dude, I've already got him. Like, whatever, So, which, huge props to the officers that did show up. I mean, they showed up probably in less than 10 minutes,
Nice.
which was, where I live at.
That usually
like
don't happen.
Yeah, that's like a record.
So, so at the end of it, who was right, who was wrong, or did they pretty much just settle everyone down and say, get on your way?
Well, at the end of the day, the cops pretty much just straight blatantly told him, like, dude, you should have been on the gas. This guy had nowhere to go. He's got, too much weight behind him. Because I showed them the video. I immediately showed them the video as soon as they arrived. He just told them straight up, like, you're supposed to, if you can't make that gap, you need to be slowing down and let him pass at the end of the day. And the fact, he did make it clear that neither one of us really should have stopped, which, when I look back at it, I agree. I shouldn't have stopped. I should have just kept on pushing, but he said, you did do the right thing by letting us know. And he told the guy, he's like, you're concerned about your daughter who was supposedly in the truck. Think about it like this. You're walking back to this guy's semi truck, and these guys don't play around when it comes to their trucks. You don't know what he had.
Right.
And he's like, what kind of example are you setting for your little girl? while you're raging and this, that, and the third. And he said the guy that you can see in the second video, he says, well, the guy stopped and he thought about it. And he said, well, sir, you're right. So ultimately, the cops pretty much told him like, hey, you're in the wrong. And after he, I guess, eventually calmed down, he realized he was in the wrong. And so
Oh,
they
no,
let him
then it
go
worked
on.
out good. That worked
Yeah,
out
it
good
worked
then,
out good. A lot of people say he should have got cited or whatever for road rage. Those cops are pretty good guys. I'm pretty sure they were just like, you know what, just don't do it again. I mean, they
Okay.
they leaned into him about it, but at the end of the day, the cops knew that the truck driver was in the right.
So, what's the PSA to all truck drivers and four wheelers out there? About the events that happened.
Well, first of all, don't do what I did and actually like confront somebody because
Yeah,
you
bad.
you really
Kenny,
don't know what.
bad move there, buddy.
Yeah, I admit, and I'm man enough to admit that that was a bad move, on my part. But at the end of the day, when you're cruising down the highway, four wheeler or truck driver, if you're coming on a merge, you guys, I mean, it goes back to basic driver's ed. If you see a slot where you can fit in, gas it. Don't just sit there and just like put along and wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Gas it, and if you can't gas it, you know, just back off, let the guy go. And to my truck drivers, I mean, I'm sure I've had a lot of truckers actually support the same thing. Like, hey, you did everything you could. But especially to my new guys, I mean, the best thing to do is look far enough ahead. Make sure you're looking up far enough ahead so you can see what's going on. And don't panic. Whatever
I hear
you
you.
do is don't panic.
What I know what really happened. You're like, man, forget this guy. As long as he doesn't throw and then you hear a dink, you know, and you're like, no,
Yeah,
he
I
did
guess you.
it.
Yeah,
No,
I
he
guess
did
you can
it.
say. Yeah, you can say that, and and that's what people got to understand. Like, truck people they say, oh well, truckers are supposed to be professional. Truckers are supposed to be courteous. We are, but we have our
Don't
limits.
throw milkshakes at our truck.
Don't throw stuff at our trucks, and on all honesty, if I, everybody's applauding me for the way that I handle it. I wasn't always that nice of a guy. I've learned my lesson over the years. I was a hothead. I was that guy that, oh yeah, I'm gonna kick your. I don't know if you can loud cuss, but I'm just gonna say I'm gonna kick your butt, this, that, and the third, and da 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 da. Look, these days and age, man, people are crazy.
Yeah,
You can't, you know. I mean, I probably could have held my own, but at the end of the day, you know, there's always somebody that's gonna say otherwise, and there's always going to be that person where they're going to try to put the truck driver at fault. And
yeah.
I've got, like I said, I've got 5 kids of my own. I've got, if I get locked up or whatever, who's going to support them while I'm in jail? Who's going to bail me out? You
I
know what I
agree.
mean?
I agree. I
uh
agree. No,
you know so yeah,
that's
it's
good advice,
just.
brother. And I like that you own up to some stuff, and that's good. And
Oh
what I'll
yeah.
do is I'll probably put this video up actually later on today or the first thing tomorrow. But I
Okay.
think the PSA that's great is to let people know that for one, uh, don't confront the situation, and for
Right.
two, hey, if you're merging onto the highway or freeway or interstate or whatever, either yield or go faster.
Right. And always remember, I mean, dude, you've got a big semi coming at you at 70 miles an hour. He's not going to just, it's going to take more than a light tap on the brake to slow it down.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
that's
care
sound advice.
I don't care who you are. I've had drivers say, oh, you could have slowed that down. I've hauled more weight. Let me tell you something. If you can slow down 40,000 or 42,000 pounds or more faster than I did, you might want to check your brake pads because I'm pretty sure you smoked them. you
I
know
heard that.
so but how us drivers are, or most of these drivers out here, one driver is better than the other. Look, I'll never claim to be better than somebody. I'll never claim to know more than everybody, because one thing I've always been told by the first trainer that I ever had, by my dad, my grandfather, you are continuing to, even no matter how old you are, no matter how much experience you have, you are constantly learning things. So nobody knows more than the other person. I mean,
That's
just
great.
period, point blank.
That's great. Man, that's awesome, man. No, Kenny, no, I appreciate you for being on the show, and
Yes, sir.
thanks for
I appreciate you.
allowing me to interview you. And I think for a lot of new truck drivers, they might have learned something today. So
Yeah,
good
I
stuff,
definitely
brother. Yeah.
appreciate it. Oh yeah, man. I'm definitely gonna, of course, I've heard of your show, man. I try to catch as many of your episodes as I can, and this is awesome because, you know, the fact that you reached out to me, says something. And I'm just like, dude, I didn't know I made that big of an impact, but
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
no, when I get truck drivers, they send me links and they go, Alex, I think this would be a great PSA for drivers. Then that's what we do. The
yep,
channel's not about anything other than hopefully some positivity in trucking, which is hard right now,
yes,
and
sir.
every single PSA and using real life events so that
Hmm.
we can learn. This is the school of hard knocks. It's look,
Yeah,
we didn't know
I
we
just,
needed to learn this lesson, but
uh-huh.
this is how you learn it. And then when you see it, you never know. Maybe from this situation, interview, and from your video already, you might have saved 5, 10, 15, 1,000 truck drivers' lives from saying, you know what, I saw what Kenny did, and you know what, I think I'm not going to do that because maybe it won't end up in that same light, right? And so
Right.
that's it, man. That's it. I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely. And that's all my pages, I mean, yeah, I've got, my girlfriend and my kids and everything like that on my page, but majority of my page is trucking. I mean, I've got tons of videos where, what to do and what not to do in certain situations that are on my page, so if you guys ever go check it out, feel free, leave a comment, like, follow, send it to Mother Trucker. Hey,
I
I'm
heard
all
that,
for
man.
it.
I'll put the links down below. So I appreciate you. Have a great day, brother.
Yes, sir. You too, man. Be safe out there.
Yeah, you too. Bye.